I am so excited to be reviewing the book that is taking over TikTok right now, and that book is Fourth Wing. So I can guarantee that if you are on TikTok and if you look at anything book related, you have seen this book take over your For You page, or at the very least, you have seen something about this book within the past week. I have been in a bit of a fantasy kick after finally finishing the ACOTAR series. So once I started to see this book circling TikTok, I figured this would be the perfect time to try another fantasy and see how I like other fantasy books. The first thing that I noticed when I picked this book up was just the look of it. Like, this book is beautiful, it has a great cover, great art, but then I saw the sides. Now, I do have the hardcover version and I haven't seen the paperback version with what I'm about to show you, but in the hardcover version, there are also black edged pages with dragons, and you will find out why this is so significant, but I am just really obsessed with the way this looks. I'm so excited to have it on my bookshelf and be able to display such beautiful pages. And also, I don't think I've ever seen a book with black lined pages. So this was just really fun, and I wanted to make sure that if you have not seen the hardcover version, that you know that this is how beautiful it looks. I should also mention that there are maps in the book, which is so typical for fantasies, but something that if you have been to any of my previous YouTube videos, you will know that I am very passionate about books with maps. I love them. I just feel like it really enhances the reading experience. So just everything about the look of this book is perfect for me, and I instantly wanted to read it just because of the look. So if you are completely unfamiliar with this book like I was, this is a new release fantasy by author Rebecca Yarros. And I had not ever heard of her before, but I can tell you people are absolutely obsessed with her now. And this is a fantasy book that follows Violet Sorrengail, whose mom is the commanding general of an army or of a defense line for the kingdom that they live in. So within this army, there are a couple of different jobs that I'll tell you about, but the first one is called a scribe. And what scribes do is kind of record and document the history of their life in this kingdom and the history of the battles and things that the army is doing. And the scribes have to study. They have to go through a process to be able to earn this job. They all kind of work and grow up in the archives, which sounded to me like a library, a really massive and extensive library. But scribes live their entire lives preparing to document all of the things that some of the other groups within this army are doing. So on the opposite side of the scribes, we have the writers. And the writers are a completely different set of people and rules and challenges that they have to go through to earn that title. Writers have to go through some really gruesome and deathly training and challenges to make it to where they can earn the title of a writer, which I will tell you what that means. But the interesting thing about it is they're all kind of competing against each other, but all affected if someone doesn't make it. So there's this really interesting dynamic happening there. And by the time they all make it through this horrible training, they have to bond with a dragon. So that is what I had mentioned earlier when you realize what the significance of the dragon on the pages are. But they have to go through this entire process and bond with a dragon, and once they do, they ride on the dragon for battles. So that is what the term rider means, and I am just so obsessed with this concept, with the portion of the book. I've not really read anything like that, and I am so obsessed. So essentially, my reason for telling you about those two jobs is because they play such a significant part of our main character Violet's life. So Violet is small and she's not really strong, and she didn't train for becoming a writer. So she has kind of trained her entire life to become a scribe. Now, the only person in her family who is a scribe is her dad, but her dad has passed away. So the only other members left of her family, which are her mom, her brother, and her sister, are all writers and are all extremely gifted writers. Like, their family is elite based on the other 3 members of her family. So after Violet's dad passes away, her mom pretty much forbids her from continuing to train as a scribe and kind of tells her that it's an embarrassment to their family name and she is forced to go into this training as a writer, and she's either going to survive and earn her title or she's going to die, and her mom pretty much tells her that she deserves that if she can't make it through the training. Like I mentioned, her mom is the commanding general. She can't say no. So that is kind of what really kicks this book off, is she now has to pretty much go into all of this training and battle against her fellow classmates defenseless. So let me just tell you that she gets pretty creative in her survival tactics because she doesn't have what the other cadets have. I don't want to tell you much more about the plot because I don't want to spoil a single thing about this book, but let me just tell you that I did not think that I could enjoy a book about dragons as much as I did. I weirdly thought that ACOTAR was going to be the only fantasy series that I really enjoyed, and I was so wrong. The characters in this book are phenomenal. The dragons are so entertaining and have their own personalities within this book. And I think that this book catapulted my fantasy addiction into another level because now I have realized that it's not just ACOTAR that I love. I am really and truly obsessed with fantasies at the moment, and I had no idea that they were going to be this good. We have some incredible supporting characters in this book, and the plot was so phenomenally written. When I tell you, in the last 50 pages of the book, I was screaming, I was crying, I was excited. I was going through the widest range of emotions. And I mean, I was so attached to the characters that it wasn't even just like a tear rolled down. I was full on crying because the writing was that good. This is an adult fantasy romance set in a war college. There is magic, there is dragons, there is battle, a full-on battle. I mean, do you need any more convincing? If you love fantasy, read it. If you love romance, read it. If you love dragons and magic, read it. I would pretty much tell you to read this book no matter what style of books you like because it's that good. I also saw an update on TikTok this morning from the author, and she was sharing that currently this book is kind of plotted out to be a 5-book series, and I truly cannot wait for the rest of the books in this series. So right now, the only book that's out is the first book, but the second book is scheduled to come out in November. So at least that's kind of close. I don't hate it, but I just get so sad when the next book in a series doesn't have a date yet and you don't know how much longer you're gonna have to wait. Like the ACOTAR series, we still don't know when the next book is gonna come out. That's a whole separate conversation. But I am so excited to know that at least we can look forward to the second book in this series in November, and just do yourselves a favor and read this one now so that you are ready for when that second book comes out and you're not going to regret it. I don't think I have felt this passionate about a book in a really long time. Now, don't get me wrong. I have read some really great books this year and read some really great books last year. Like I said, I just finished the ACOTAR series and it was fantastic. I loved it. I would recommend that series to anyone as well. But this book took me by surprise. The writing was phenomenal. I am still obsessed with the characters and still thinking about this book after finishing it. And I mean, I already told you, within the past 50 pages, I had the widest range of emotions. And that is such a testament to the author's writing. I am so excited to say that TikTok wins again with this recommendation, and this book is getting a full 5 stars from me. I cannot recommend it enough. Read it if you haven't already. If you are even slightly interested in this book, please read it. I have a feeling that you are going to love it. And if you have already read this book, please let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, because I just need to talk to someone about how great this book is and about the characters. And also let me know if you haven't read it yet, but if you are going to, so that you can come back and let me know what your thoughts are. You deserve to read a really fantastic book, and that's this one. So go find it somewhere, look it up on Amazon, I'm not sure. Everywhere is selling it at the moment because it's so popular, so just do yourselves a favor and go find it. Also, I am, like I said, fully obsessed with fantasy, especially if there is a romance subplot, so please let me know if you have recommendations because I need all of them. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!